There are moments in life when God steps into your story not with a whisper, not with a gentle nudge, but with a divine eruption, an explosion of favor, breakthrough, and blessing that your mind cannot even begin to comprehend. And I want you to hear me today. You are standing on the edge of such a moment. God is about to blow your mind with what He is preparing for you. Not next year, not next decade, now. Something is shifting in your atmosphere, something is breaking open in the spiritual realm, and heaven is preparing to surprise you in ways you never imagined. For too long, you've been living within the limits of what you think is possible. You've been measuring your future by your past. You've been calculating your potential based on your resources, your strength, your opportunities, or the people around you. But God does not operate within human calculations. He does not think small thoughts about you. He does not plan small miracles for you. And He is not intimidated by the size of your dream, your desire, or your calling. When God says, "I'm about to blow your mind," He means He's about to take you into a reality that stretches far beyond human limitation. Some of you have been walking through a season where nothing seems to move. You've prayed, you've hoped, you've believed, but the doors stayed shut. You watched others rise while you stayed in the same place. You sowed seeds, tears watered them, faith surrounded them, and yet the soil seemed unmoved. But listen to this. Just because nothing seems to be happening doesn't mean God isn't working. The quiet seasons are where God builds the loudest miracles. The hidden places are where God shapes His greatest displays of power. The times when you feel forgotten are the very moments heaven is preparing a breakthrough too big for you to imagine. God is about to do something in your life that will leave you speechless, completely undone by His goodness. The kind of blessing that makes you sit down because your legs suddenly feel weak. The kind of miracle that makes you wipe your eyes because you're not sure if what you're seeing is real. The kind of breakthrough that makes you look up to heaven and say, "God, is this really for me?" Yes, it is for you, because He loves you, because He has seen every tear, every battle, every silent prayer, every lonely night, and He has chosen this season to show you that He has not forgotten you. Some blessings take time, yes, but some breakthroughs come suddenly. Scripture says, "Suddenly there came a sound from heaven. Suddenly the walls of Jericho fell. Suddenly Peter's chains broke off. Suddenly the Red Sea parted." When God moves in the realm of suddenly, nothing can stand in His way. Not your past, not your mistakes, not the opinions of people, not the delays, not the disappointments, not the enemy. And that suddenly is coming for you. A divine interruption, an unexpected acceleration, a supernatural turnaround. God is about to blow your mind because He's about to do something you didn't pray big enough for, something you didn't see coming, something you thought was impossible, something you thought you weren't qualified for, something you thought you had missed. But God doesn't need your qualification to bless you. He doesn't need your resume to elevate you. He needs your heart, your faith, your willingness to say, "Lord, if you open the door, I will walk through it." It may look like nothing is happening, but heaven is moving. Angels are being assigned. Strategies are aligning. People you haven't met yet are being positioned to help you. Opportunities you didn't see are being prepared. Doors that were closed are being unlocked. God has already written the miracle into your story. You're just walking toward what He's already finished. But listen, God is not just about to bless you. He's about to bless you in a way that makes others look and say, "How did that happen?" He's about to bless you in a way that silences the critics and confuses the enemy. He's about to bless you in a way that even you can't explain. Your testimony is about to shift from "I believe" to "I have seen," from "I hope" to "it is done," from one day to today. So lift your expectation again. Don't shrink your faith to match your circumstance. Don't reduce your prayers to match your disappointment. Don't let fear convince you that God is done with you. He is not done. In fact, He's only getting started. The blessing you thought was delayed is about to arrive early. The breakthrough you thought was lost is about to be found. The miracle you thought was impossible is about to show up suddenly. Prepare your heart. Prepare your spirit. Get ready for a divine surprise. Get ready for an overflow. Get ready for doors you didn't knock on to open. Get ready for opportunities you didn't chase to find you. Get ready for goodness that overtakes you. God is about to blow your mind, not because you earned it, but because He loves you beyond anything you can imagine. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with favor, abundance, restoration, clarity, and joy. Everything you lost is nothing compared to what God is about to release. Everything that broke you is nothing compared to what God is about to build. Everything that hurt you is nothing compared to the healing that's coming. God is about to blow your mind. Get ready. Get expectant. Get positioned, because heaven has your name on its next miracle. When God begins preparing a breakthrough for your life, He rarely announces it with fireworks or loud signs. Most of the time, His greatest works begin in silence, in secrecy, in the unseen corners of your journey. You may not feel anything shifting. You may not see any evidence of movement. You may not hear any prophetic trumpet sounding in the distance. But the lack of visible activity does not mean God is inactive. In fact, the quieter the season feels, the deeper the work God is doing beneath the surface. What He is preparing for you is not ordinary. It is not average. It is not small. It is something so divinely crafted, so unusually tailored, so perfectly timed that your mind cannot even begin to grasp it. There are times in your life when God allows you to go through stretches that feel unproductive or slow, not because He is delaying you, but because He is setting the stage for a breakthrough that will exceed your imagination. He is not trying to frustrate you. He is preparing to amaze you. He is building momentum in the spirit that will show up suddenly in the natural. When God prepares something big, He hides it until the moment it is ready. A seed does not show its growth while it is underground. A baby does not reveal itself before it is formed. A sunrise does not reveal its glow until the darkness has completed its purpose. And the miracle God is preparing for you is developing quietly, hidden beneath the soil of your faith, until the appointed moment arrives. This is why you cannot judge your future by your present condition. You cannot judge your destiny by what you see today. God is working in rooms you cannot enter. He is speaking your name in conversations you know nothing about. He is creating opportunities you have not yet walked into. He is aligning people, favor, timing, and circumstances in ways that no human hand could orchestrate. And when everything is ready, when the people are in place, the timing is right, and your heart is prepared, then God reveals His plan. And when He reveals it, it will be so breathtaking, so shocking, so beautifully overwhelming that you will instantly understand why He made you wait. Sometimes the breakthrough God intends for you is so big that He must first stretch your faith to match it. He must widen your spiritual capacity to receive it. He must strengthen your inner foundation to hold it. Because if He gave it too soon, you would doubt it, mishandle it, or fail to step into it confidently. So He matures you. He teaches you patience. He adjusts your thinking. He purifies your motives. He removes certain people. He redirects your desires. He refines your character. All of these things feel uncomfortable while they are happening, but afterward you discover they were necessary, because what God had planned was far greater than what you prayed for. And that's the key. You prayed one way, but God planned another. You asked for something small, manageable, understandable, but God in His love imagined something far bigger, something that would not only bless you, but redefine you, something that would not only lift you, but transform you, something that would not only answer a prayer, but awaken you to a new dimension of faith. This is why the breakthrough God is preparing is beyond anything you have imagined, because you were thinking in terms of comfort, but God is thinking in terms of destiny. You were thinking in terms of survival, but God is thinking in terms of impact. You were thinking in terms of what you can handle, but God is thinking in terms of what He can do through you. You may be looking at your life and saying, I don't see anything happening. Nothing looks different. Everything feels the same. But God specializes in working in the invisible realm long before the visible realm catches up. He moves in the spiritual before He reveals it in the natural. By the time you see it with your physical eyes, God has already completed the miracle in the unseen. And when it manifests, it will not be a small enhancement or a slight improvement. It will be a breakthrough so powerful that you will know only God could have done it. There are blessings you have not even prayed for yet, but God has already written them into your story. There are doors you have not knocked on, but God has already authorized them to open. There are victories you have not fought for, but God has already prepared them for you. There are miracles you cannot comprehend, but God has already spoken them into existence. Heaven is not waiting to see what you do next. Heaven has already arranged what is coming next. Every delay has purpose. Every setback has meaning. Every disappointment has direction. Nothing has been wasted. God is gathering every piece, every tear, every prayer, every longing, every closed door, every battle, and every lesson, and He is forming them into a breakthrough that will not just meet your expectations, but will shatter them completely. And when it comes, you will look back and realize that the silence was not God ignoring you. It was God building something beyond your imagination. There are moments in your journey when everything seems to be standing still. Moments when it feels like the promises of God are suspended in the air. Moments when life seems slow and progress feels distant. Yet it is precisely in these seasons that God prepares the most dramatic, sudden shifts. You may not realize it, but the suddenly of God often arrives after a long stretch of silence, after a long period of waiting, and after a long season of feeling like nothing is happening. Suddenly is never random. It is the moment when everything God has aligned behind the scenes breaks through into your visible world. Your turnaround is closer than you think because God does not need time. He only needs timing. You may feel like you have been waiting for years for something to change, but God can change in one day what human effort could not accomplish in a lifetime. He can turn the heart of a king in seconds. He can open doors in moments. He can release favor instantly. In the Bible, deliverance often came when the people least expected it. In one night, Joseph woke up a prisoner and went to sleep a prime minister. In one moment, the woman with the issue of blood touched Jesus and was made whole. In a single encounter, blind eyes opened, storms stopped, demons fled, and destinies shifted. God's power to move suddenly is woven throughout Scripture, and that same power is preparing to break into your life. Sometimes you feel the pressure building without realizing what it means. You may feel uncomfortable, restless, or stretched. You may feel like something inside you is pushing for more, yet nothing around you seems to change. That is often the sign that a divine shift is approaching. Before every miracle in Scripture, there was a moment of tension, something that signaled transformation. Before the Red Sea parted, Moses stood before an impossible obstacle. Before the walls of Jericho fell, Israel faced fortified stone. Before David became king, he stood before a giant. Before Jesus resurrected, darkness filled the earth. The moments that look like endings are often the moments God uses to reveal his most powerful suddenly. Your breakthrough is closer than you think because God has already begun the shift in the spiritual realm, even if you haven't seen the results in the natural. When Daniel prayed, the answer was sent instantly, but a spiritual battle delayed its arrival. Yet the moment the battle was won, the answer broke through. You may not see what is happening behind the curtain of your circumstances, but that doesn't mean God is inactive. He could be rearranging hearts, redirecting opportunities, shifting environments, protecting you from hidden dangers, or preparing a blessing that requires the perfect alignment of time, place, and people. Your sudden turnaround is also closer than you think because God often delays the visible so he can prepare the invisible. The roots of a tree grow deepest before the fruit appears. The foundation of a skyscraper is dug long before the structure rises. The stretching you feel now is the preparation for the height God is taking you to. A weak foundation cannot carry a high calling, so God works on strengthening your interior before he reveals the next level of your exterior life. You may think you are waiting on God, but often God is waiting on the right moment when your character, faith, endurance, and mindset can carry what he's about to place in your hands. When God moves suddenly, nothing can stop it. Not your past, not your mistakes, not your fears, not the opinions of others, not the delays, not the setbacks, and not the battles you've been fighting. When the moment arrives, everything aligns so fast that the shift feels supernatural, and it is. Suddenly, the relationship changes. Suddenly, the job opens. Suddenly, the diagnosis turns. Suddenly, the opportunity arrives. Suddenly, the burden lifts. Suddenly, the clarity comes. Suddenly, the answer appears. Suddenly, the storm stops. Suddenly, the season shifts. What you have prayed for, cried for, waited for, and hoped for can materialize instantly when God says, now. This is why you cannot afford to stop believing, because your suddenly is not far away. The best miracles often arrive when faith feels weakest. The biggest blessings often show up when you least expect them. God specializes in surprise breakthroughs, in unexpected turnarounds, in divine reversals that leave you stunned. Your job is not to figure out when or how. Your job is simply to stay ready, stay faithful, stay open, and stay expectant, because the moment heaven decides your season has changed, everything in your life must align with that command. Your turnaround is closer than you think, closer than your fear tells you, closer than your doubt suggests, closer than your circumstances appear, closer than the enemy wants you to believe. God is preparing to move swiftly, suddenly, and supernaturally in your life, right on time at the exact moment that brings him the greatest glory and brings you the greatest transformation. There are seasons when God separates you from people, atmospheres, and opportunities that once felt familiar, and often these shifts feel uncomfortable. You may look around and wonder why certain doors closed, why specific friendships faded, why environments that once felt right suddenly feel too small. But growth with God always involves separation. Before elevation, God creates distance. Before promotion, God removes distractions. Before expansion, God disconnects you from places that cannot sustain where he is taking you. It may feel painful, but that separation is not rejection. It is divine protection and preparation. God removes people not because they are bad, but because they are not built for your next chapter. Some people were assigned to your past, but not your future. Their presence was seasonal, not permanent. If they stayed any longer, they would limit your capacity, dilute your faith, or distract your focus. God sees conversations you don't hear, intentions you don't perceive, and battles you don't notice. So when God pulls someone out of your life, he is not taking something from you. He is making room for something greater. What feels like loss is often a spiritual pruning that produces more fruit later. Many people pray for elevation but resist separation. Yet God cannot lift you to new levels while you stay attached to old limitations. New heights require lighter weight. Some relationships, habits, and environments carry emotional and spiritual weight that slows your progress. God knows that if He let you keep everything you want, you would lose the very thing you need. And so He begins to cut away what can't go with you, not because He is harsh, but because He is intentional and deeply invested in your destiny. Sometimes isolation is part of the process. God will hide you before He reveals you. Look at the lives of the people God used greatly. Moses in the desert, Joseph in the prison, David in the wilderness, Jesus in the quiet years before ministry. Their greatest transformations did not happen on stages. They happened in solitude. When God isolates you, it is because He is strengthening your foundation, refining your identity, sharpening your discernment, and building your spiritual muscles for the weight of the assignment ahead. If God revealed you too early, the pressure would crush you. So He conceals you until you are ready. There are moments when God closes doors that you desperately wanted to stay open. Maybe it was an opportunity you worked for, a relationship you cherished, a dream you thought was guaranteed. But God does not close doors out of cruelty. He closes doors to redirect you. Every closed door is a divine rerouting that saves you from something you could not see. Sometimes what looks like disappointment is actually God steering you away from a future disaster. Sometimes what feels like betrayal is God keeping your spirit from being entangled with the wrong people. You may grieve the door that closed, but one day you will thank Him for it. When God closes doors, He is not diminishing you. He is positioning you. He is aligning your steps with the purpose He wrote long before you were born. You are not being denied. You are being guided. You are not being punished. You are being protected. You are not being pushed away. You are being moved forward. God knows the timing, the people, the places, and the platforms that fit your destiny. Anything removed from your life lacked the grace to go with you into what God is preparing. God also shifts your environment because elevation requires a new atmosphere. You cannot grow in soil that no longer nourishes your spirit. You cannot thrive in places where you are tolerated but not celebrated. You cannot become who God has called you to be while staying in circles that misunderstand your calling. Sometimes God will make you uncomfortable in familiar places because comfort can become captivity. He stirs your spirit, disrupts your peace in the wrong environment, and creates a holy dissatisfaction that forces you to move. The discomfort is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of transition. There will be moments when you feel alone, but aloneness is not abandonment. God does His deepest work in the quiet. When people walk away, God stands closer. When support fades, His presence increases. When the familiar feels distant, His voice becomes clearer. God removes noise so you can hear His whisper. He removes crowds so you can rediscover your identity. He removes applause so you can develop authenticity. Loneliness becomes the training ground where you learn to depend on God without leaning on people. Sometimes the separation is internal. God will pull you away from old mindsets, old fears, old reactions, old versions of yourself. He will challenge the beliefs that limit your identity. He will confront the wounds that sabotage your confidence. He will heal the insecurities that make you shrink in rooms where He wants you to shine. Internal separation is just as important as external separation. God cannot elevate you outwardly until He elevates you inwardly. You may not understand why God is shifting, removing, and rearranging things in your life right now. It may feel confusing and uncomfortable, but every divine separation is a setup for divine acceleration. God is clearing the path so nothing will block what he is about to do. He is pruning you so you can carry more fruit in the next season. He is preparing your heart, refining your character, and purifying your intentions. What you lose in this season will be small compared to what God is preparing to release in the next. As you stand in this moment of your life, you may not see the full picture of what God is doing, but heaven sees it clearly. Everything that has shifted, everything that has been removed, everything that has been delayed, and everything that has been rerouted is part of a divine orchestration you will one day look back on and say, God was moving the whole time. The confusion you felt, the battles you faced, the isolation that stretched your heart, none of it was wasted. God used it all to position you, strengthen you, and prepare you for the season that is now unfolding before you. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are not overlooked. You are being prepared. You are not abandoned. You are being refined for greater things. Every tear, every closed door, every unanswered question was a seed planted for a harvest you are closer to than you realize. God has not been delaying you. He has been aligning you. What he is preparing for you requires maturity, clarity, character, and capacity. And through every twist and turn, he has been building all of that inside you. Now is the time to lift your head, strengthen your heart, and steady your faith. God's hand is upon your life in ways you cannot yet measure, but you will soon witness. He is about to open doors you didn't knock on, bring answers you didn't ask for, and release blessings that exceed what you prayed for. What is coming will not be small, predictable, or ordinary. It will be God-sized, God-timed, and God-designed, so undeniable that you will testify, "This was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in my eyes." So move forward with confidence, walk with expectation, rest in the assurance that the God who started this work in you will finish it with glory. The shifting was not to break you, it was to build you. The separation was not to weaken you, it was to elevate you. The silence was not to discourage you, it was to sharpen your spirit. And now God is ready to reveal what he has been preparing behind the scenes. Get ready, because the season ahead will show you why the season behind you had to happen. God is moving powerfully for you, and nothing can stop what he has set in motion. Your best, your breakthrough, your release, your restoration, and your elevation are already on the way.